So this leads very good into episode 4 because I think episode 4 brings it to so if you think about it, one is chaotic. It sets up the the whether he did it or not. Episode 2 was more focused on the reasons behind what goes on, like you said, in the school system, in the society thing. Episode 3 is pulling it out of his mind. Where is he? Why did he do this? How does the social media? How does the basically abuse of young boys, I guess you could call it. Episode 4 brings you into the family side of it, right? Because episode 4 was all about the parents. So the as I mentioned at the top of the show, the boy is not even in episode 4. So episode 4 is almost entirely focused on the two parents, the mom and dad, and the sister. And once again, remembering it's a one take, continuous filming. It starts in the morning. They take a trip to, I'll call it Home Depot.
So before because you're going to set them up for this, this is exactly 13 months
yeah, 13
after the
months.
crime.
Right.
And it is the father's birthday.
That's right.
So
Father's birthday.
that means that he had a birthday a month after this happened, and now this is his second birthday.
Yep. So and it's his birthday, and the kid obviously is in jail, detention center still. Yeah, hasn't gone to court yet, or hasn't gone through the trial yet. And this sets up to elaborate on what Phil said earlier. This reinforces that the sister is really in my opinion, was really the sort of the bedrock of the family. The sister is the most sane, most normal, most upstanding citizen of the four of them.
Stand up person, moral, emotionally mature. I would say all those things for her.
Yes. So the episode starts out basically they get up in the morning and they discover that the dad, who's a plumber, has a nice plumber truck, and somebody spray painted it, largely in response to that. So the indication here is that the family is being outcast, right? Because they're the family of a murderer, of the murderer kid.
Mm-hmm.
So it continues on. They head to the Home Depot, whatever, to get paint thinner, whatever, to fix the thing. And here, to me, this was a very critical episode because, I'm just going to tell you how I took it, Phil, and you can correct me or see if you saw it differently. But this is where I find out that some of what the kid got came from the dad. And the dad is, if you haven't seen the show, the dad is super muscular. He's a bit of I don't want to say he's a meathead, but he's a little bit, they're trying to draw a little bit of what you said, Phil, earlier, a stereotype of the guy, the dad is dumber. The mom has the answers, right? They kind of drew that comparison a little bit, certainly with the contrast with the sister.
They subtly made the point in the beginning. She was in the first episode, her questioning why he would choose the father in such a
father.
And then then they even have the dialogue where he basically is saying, I should have had you go in and be his support. You are the smart one. So they are definitely creating that scenario.
And the dad is questioning at this point, legitimately. He's doing way more of the questioning than the mom is about whether he raised the kid wrong. Is it my fault? Is he a murderer because of me? Blah, 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 blah. And I think in the beginning of the episode, you feel like, yeah, maybe not, maybe. But then as it progresses and you go and they get the paint, and then he throws the paint thinner and then he has the emotional outburst of the dad very closely, to me, correlates with the child, with the son. So you can see that the son got some of the genes from the dad. There's no question. And and so you said the hardship of what the family is going through all of this. You can see, but you also pick up some of where he got it from. That's the way I saw it, Phil.
The father was, in my opinion, like a stereotypical typical father.
Mm-hmm.
And they made the point of every time the son would recollect an event that involved his father, it was where the son was trying to do something that was considered stereotypically boy masculine.
Male, yep,
And the father was highly disappointed in his poor performance or lack of performance.
yep,
So that's where I saw the major fault in his parenting.
yep.
When he saw that his son was lesser than in certain things, he just kind of turned his back to him. He didn't support him. He like, okay, you're not an athlete. Maybe
Right.
you're something
Something
else.
else. Yeah.
But he had that. He was kind of like the all in the family guy. You know what I mean? He
Yep.
wants his.
Yep.
I want my son playing baseball and basketball. We all do. But
Mhm.
if you don't get that, you have understanding and you move forward.
Right. And and this is the episode, obviously, where you find out um, what the viewer knew for the last 3 hours. The dad seems to come to the revelation when the son, it's his birthday, and the son tells him on the phone. So you only hear, he does. He's not in the episode. You hear his voice on the phone telling his dad that he wants to change his plea from not guilty to guilty. And the dad immediately goes into he goes into a shell. He doesn't say a word. He's shell shocked. And and obviously the end, the episode ends with the dad just bawling his eyes out on a pillow. You know,
Yeah.
and to me there was some imagery with that, because I feel like they're showing us even more clearly that the daughter was more mature than the parents.
She's the one brought them back together. She was the
Yes,
one that had sense. And wherever we go, we're going to be ostracized. Might as well stay right here.
right. That's right.
And she was, even when he called, they were acting funny the whole time while the son was on the call. She was the only one who looked like she was like hurt and
Yep.
had true emotions.
Yep.
And what made that so resounding was they were definitely trying to make the point. This boy is crazy. He's homicidal, but it has nothing to do with that he grew up in. They weren't beating him. They weren't
No.
sexually molesting him.
No.
He
No.
he grew up very typical.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Very, very normal. There was no extenuating circumstances. They were very careful to show you there was not some kind of background extenuating circumstances from the past.
So, Mike, if you have to grade this, I didn't watch it. We're just sitting there waiting for our oil to get changed, and this comes up. Are you recommending this to me? And what would be your brief explanation to me?
Well, I would highly recommend watching it if you guys haven't watched it, for two reasons. One, if you are at all like I am, any kind of a film or recording buff, the way that they film this is amazing. So that's the first thing. That's from a technical. Forget about the story. From the story side of it, everything that Phil and I have been talking about over the last hour should probably give you the indication that you can overcome your Mikeisms about British accents and weird things, and I would highly recommend watching it, because I think that it is sadly very, very accurate and could happen more and more, not less and less. Our society is going more in the direction of creating this kind of problem and not so much the other direction. That's my opinion.